Hey guys, today we're going to be reading some narratives. So that's a story that is not true and learning a little bit more about their setting and their characters. Now, before we get started, each of you needs to get a talking buddy. A talking buddy is someone that you can teach what you're learning to. So my talking buddy today is Hank. You might recognize him from Finding Dory, but he's going to be my talking buddy. And I'm going to ask you to pause the video now so that you can go get your talking buddy. So you should now have you should have a talking buddy. And we're going to start off by remembering and reviewing reading a narrative. So at the start of a narrative is the setting. The setting is time or place, when or where. See if you can try that with me. Setting is time or place, when or where. And we also have the characters of our story, and they're going to drive the action of the story. See if you can try that with me. The character drives the action of the story. We're going to try it one more time all together so we remember the parts of a narrative. The setting is time or place, when or where. And the character drives the action of the story. Now, I would like you to turn and tell your buddy what is the setting of the story. The setting of the story is, see if you can turn and tell your buddy the setting of the story. Record yourself talking to your buddy and put it on Seesaw. Now would be a great time to. So we've reviewed so far the setting is the time and place or when and where a story happens. And we also know that the character drives the action of the story. Next is our problem. So we start with a setting, our character, and then we have a problem. And when our character faces a problem, they go through events to try and solve the problem. So I want you to try that with me. The character has a problem and they go through events to solve the problem. See if this time you can even do the hand motions. The character faces a problem and so they go through events to solve the problem. Next, there's a solution. Was the character successful or unsuccessful at solving the problem? Try that with me. Next is the solution. Was the character successful or unsuccessful at solving the problem? I would like you to pause the video for a quick moment and see if you can tell your talking buddy what the solution is. I just turned and talked to Hank, and I told Hank that the solution is whether the character is able to solve their problem or not solve their problem. The end of our narrative chant, who cares? Can you guys do that? We do. Why did the author write this book? Was it to teach a lesson or teach a theme? That's a big idea about people or the world. See if we can try this because this is a pretty big part. Who cares? We do. Why did the author write this book? Was it to teach a lesson or to teach a theme? That's a big idea about people or the world. I'm going to have us go back and see if we can try that whole chant together. So see if you can say it with me. Every story has a setting and a character. The setting is time and place, when or where. The character drives the action of the story. Then the character faces a problem and they go through events to try and solve the problem. Solution. Was the character successful or unsuccessful at solving the problem? Who cares? We do. Why did the author write this book? Was it to teach a lesson or teach a theme? That's a big idea about people or the world. Now we're going to try it one more time, but this time I'm just going to do the motions and I want you to try to say all the words. So let's get started together. Every story has the character, then he faces A and goes through to solve was the character. Who cares? Why did the author write this book? Was it to, or that's a big idea about people or the world? I'm going to have you pause the video here, and I want to see if you can do it with your talking buddy. Maybe your talking buddy can even try and do some of the motions. If you do it really great, I'd love to see it on Seesaw. Before we go, I'd love to show you Hank and I going through our narrative chant. Let's see if Hank does it better or if I do it better. Every story has a setting and a character. A setting is time or place, when or where. The character drives the action of the story. Then he faces a problem and goes through events to try and solve the problem. Solution. Was the character successful or unsuccessful at solving the problem? Who cares? We do. Why did the author write this story? Was it to teach a lesson or to teach a theme? That's a big idea about people or the world. Who do you think did it better, me or Hank? See you guys soon.